You work hard, you show up, you put in the hours, you pay your bills on time, but then you look at your bank account and ask that same soul-crushing question: where did all my money go? Does it feel like you're stuck on a financial treadmill? You're moving, you're sweating, but you're not actually getting anywhere. For years, I was in that exact spot. I was earning a good salary, but I was completely broke. I was a full-blown shopaholic, drowning in credit card debt I saw no way out of. And I lived with this quiet, constant fear that one surprise car repair would completely wipe me out. It turns out, my financial problems weren't caused by one big disaster. They were caused by a handful of small, sneaky money habits that were silently draining my bank account, destroying my confidence, and keeping me trapped. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the 7 money habits that were secretly keeping me poor. These are the same habits I see thousands of people wrestling with every day. More importantly, I'm going to share exactly how I broke each one step by step so you can finally start building the financial future you deserve. So if you're tired of the paycheck to paycheck grind, stick around. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I share videos just like this every single week to help you master your money. Let's get into it. The first habit, and the one that causes the most stress, is living completely paycheck to paycheck. This is when your income hits your account and it's immediately spoken for. Rent, car payment, utilities, groceries. Before you know it, there's little to nothing left. You're not even buying fancy things. You're just surviving. The problem is, this isn't just a financial state. It's a mental one. You live with a constant, low-grade fear, always one small emergency away from a crisis. I remember getting a flat tire once, a $150 bill. For someone with savings, that's an annoyance. For me, it was a catastrophe. I spent days stressing about how to cover it and which credit card had any room left. That one tiny event took up all my mental energy for a week. That's just no way to live. This habit keeps you poor because it gives you zero room for error and no space to get ahead. You're always playing defense, just trying to hang on until the next payday. The fix for this sounds backward, especially when money is tight. Pay yourself first. This is a total shift in how you think about your money. Before you pay your rent, before you pay your phone bill, you take a piece of your income and put it into savings. You treat your savings like it's the most important bill you have. You might be thinking, I have literally nothing left. How can I do that? This is where you start ridiculously small. The goal isn't to save $1,000 overnight. The goal is to break the habit of spending everything you make. Here's the action step. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking to a separate savings account for the day after you get paid. And start with an amount that feels almost laughable. I'm talking $20 or $10, even $5. The amount doesn't matter at first. What matters is building the muscle of saving. You're proving to yourself that you can live on a little less than you earn. You're creating a gap, however small, between your income and expenses. That tiny gap is where wealth is born. Over time, you can slowly increase that amount. This single automated action is your first step off the treadmill. The second habit that absolutely crushes your ability to build wealth is getting comfortable with high interest debt. I'm talking about credit cards. In mid-2025, total credit card debt in the US soared to a record $1.21 trillion. The average interest rate is hovering around a brutal 22 to 23%. Here's what that actually means. When you carry a credit card balance, you're playing a game that's rigged against you. The interest compounds, meaning you're paying interest on the interest. It's like trying to swim against a powerful current. You can paddle as hard as you can by making minimum payments, but you're either staying in place or getting pulled further out to sea. My big confession is that for years, I was a minimum payment junkie. I had multiple credit cards and would just pay the small amount they asked for each month, telling myself I was meeting my obligations. But one day, I did the math. I looked at one card with a $5,000 balance and realized that with minimum payments, it would take me over a decade to pay off, and I'd pay more in interest than the original amount I borrowed. It was a gut punch. I realized my debt wasn't just a number. It was an anchor, actively holding me down and stealing my future income. This habit keeps you poor by forcing you to spend today's money to pay for yesterday's stuff, plus a massive penalty. The solution is to declare war on your high-interest debt. Get angry at it. See it as the enemy of your future. There are two popular effective strategies for this: the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. The debt snowball is all about psychology. You list your debts from smallest balance to largest. You make minimum payments on everything but throw every extra dollar at that smallest debt. Once it's gone, you get a huge mental win. Then you take that payment and roll it into the next smallest debt, creating momentum. The debt avalanche is pure math. You list your debts from the highest interest rate to the lowest and attack the highest rate debt first. This saves you the most money in interest over time, though the wins might feel slower at first. Which one is better? The one you'll actually stick with. Pick one, make your list, and commit. Call your credit card companies and ask for a lower interest rate. The worst they can say is no. Look into balance transfer cards. The point is to stop being passive and go on the attack. This is a fight you can win. Habit number 3 is the silent killer of budgets, impulsive spending. I'm not talking about planned expenses. This is the stuff you buy on a whim because you're bored, stressed, or just saw an ad that knew you a little too well. It's the daily coffee, the unplanned lunch, the I deserve this treat, the Amazon cart that magically fills up late at night. Psychologically, these small purchases give us a tiny hit of dopamine that feels good in the moment. Consumer culture is designed to exploit this. With mobile payments and buy now, pay later, the gap between impulse and purchase has almost disappeared. I was the king of this. My trigger was stress. After a long day, I felt like I deserved a reward, which often came in the form of online shopping, a new gadget, new clothes, anything for that little rush. The problem was, the rush would fade instantly, but the credit card bill stuck around. It led to a house full of clutter and a bank account full of regret. This habit keeps you poor by creating 1,000 tiny leaks in your financial boat. One leak won't sink you, but 1,000 will. The solution is to create friction and practice mindful spending. Put some space between the impulse and the action. Here are 3 tactics. First, the 24-hour rule. If you want to buy something that isn't a necessity, put it in your cart and walk away for 24 hours. Sleep on it. More often than not, the intense want will evaporate by the next day. Second, curate your environment. Unsubscribe from all those flash sale marketing emails. Unfollow influencers whose job is to make you feel like you need more stuff. You're in a battle for your attention, and every ad is a potential attack on your wallet. Third, align your spending with your values. A budget isn't about deprivation. It's about being intentional. Instead of scattering your money on dozens of meaningless purchases, save up and spend it guilt-free on things that genuinely bring you joy, a vacation, a nice dinner with friends, or a hobby you love. The 4th habit is born from a dangerous mix of optimism and denial, not having an emergency fund. This is incredibly common. In 2025, studies showed that nearly a quarter of Americans have no emergency savings at all, and a staggering 59% don't have enough to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. Many would be forced to borrow money for even a small emergency. For years, I operated under the flawed logic of, if an emergency happens, I'll figure it out then. My emergency fund was my credit card. That's like having a fire safety plan that consists of hoping a fire doesn't start. It's not a plan, it's a prayer. And my prayer went unanswered when I was unexpectedly laid off. Suddenly, my income was zero. The stress was immediate and suffocating. I had to put rent, bills, and groceries on a credit card, plunging myself deeper into debt. My lack of preparation for one emergency created a second, long-term financial disaster. This habit keeps you poor because it makes your entire financial foundation fragile. Without a safety net, any bit of bad luck forces you to take on expensive debt, wiping out any progress you've made. An emergency fund is the firewall between you and financial ruin. The solution is to build a buffer of 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses. Now, that can sound terrifying. For an average US household, that could be anywhere from $19,000 to over $38,000. But don't get hung up on the big number. Your first goal is not 6 months. Your first goal is $500, then $1,000. This is your baby emergency fund, enough to cover the most common surprises and stop you from reaching for a credit card. Here's the key. This money must be in a separate, dedicated, high-yield savings account. It needs to be accessible, but not too accessible. Automate your contributions, just like we talked about earlier. Send $20, $50, or $100 a month to this account. Once you hit that first $1,000 goal, celebrate it. Then, keep that automation going and aim for 1 month of expenses. You build it brick by brick. An emergency fund is your ticket to sleeping at night. This might be the single most expensive mistake anyone can make. Habit number 5 is procrastinating on retirement savings. When you're young, retirement feels like a lifetime away, a problem for your future self to deal with. The shocking reality is that somewhere between 40% and 50% of American households have no dedicated retirement savings at all. My story here is painfully common. In my 20s, I got my first real job with a 401k and a company match. I remember looking at the paperwork and thinking, I can't afford to put money away for 40 years from now. I need it now. So I didn't enroll. I left free money from the company match on the table for years. What I didn't get was the colossal power of compound growth. Time is your most powerful ingredient, and procrastination is the enemy. Let me give you a quick, powerful example. Let's say person A starts investing $300 a month at age 25. Person B waits 10 years and starts investing $400 a month at age 35 to try and catch up. Assuming a modest 7% annual return, by age 65, person A, who started earlier with less money, will have over $700,000. Person B, despite investing more each month, will have just over $500,000. That 10-year delay cost them nearly $200,000. This habit keeps you poor by robbing you of decades of compound growth, forcing you to save dramatically more money later in life to get the same result. You're giving up your single greatest asset, time. The solution is painfully simple. Start now, today. If your employer offers a 401k with a matching contribution, sign up immediately. A company match is a 100% return on your investment. There is no better deal in finance. Contribute at least enough to get the full match. That is non-negotiable. If you don't have an employer plan, open an IRA, an individual retirement account. A Roth IRA is a fantastic tool where your money grows completely tax-free. You can open one online in 15 minutes. The key to all of this is automation. Set it up so the money is automatically deducted from your paycheck or bank account. You never see it, so you're not tempted to spend it. Investing for retirement shouldn't be a choice you make every month. It should be a non-negotiable, automated process, like electricity. All right, we're more than halfway through. We've talked about the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, high interest debt, and the massive cost of waiting to invest. That last point about investing is so critical, and I know it can feel intimidating. If you want a deeper dive, I have another video called Investing for Absolute Beginners that breaks it down into 5 simple steps. I'll link that in the description. It's the perfect next step after you finish this one. Habit number 6 has exploded in the modern economy, putting recurring expenses on autopilot and never looking back. I'm talking about subscription creep. Streaming services, software trials you forgot to cancel, gym memberships you don't use, monthly boxes, the list is endless. This is death by 1,000 cuts. Each charge seems small, $9.99 here, $14.99 there. It's easy to dismiss them. But these can add up to hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year in wasted money. Because they're automated, they become invisible, blending into the background noise of our monthly statements. My wake-up call came when I finally did a subscription audit. I printed out my last 3 bank statements and went through them with a highlighter. I was horrified. I was paying for 2 music streaming services. I had a subscription for photo editing software I hadn't used in a year. A free trial for a delivery service had been billing me $12.99 a month for 7 months. It was a bloodbath of wasted money, over $60 a month on things that added zero value to my life. This habit keeps you poor by silently siphoning money from your account for things you don't even use. It's the definition of mindless spending. The solution is to schedule a recurring financial audit. Once every quarter, sit down and go through your statements line by line. For every single subscription, ask yourself, 1. Do I use this regularly? 2. Does it bring me real value or joy? 3. Is there a cheaper or free alternative? Be ruthless. If you haven't used that gym membership, cancel it. If you only watch one show on a streaming service, binge it and then cancel. You can always sign back up later. This simple quarterly habit can free up a surprising amount of cash to redirect toward your actual goals. We've arrived at the final and most foundational bad habit, living without a budget. So many people resist the word budget. They think it's restrictive, complicated, and will suck all the fun out of life. In reality, living without a budget is what's truly restrictive. It's like being the CEO of a company with no idea what your revenue or expenses are. You're flying completely blind. When you don't know where your money is going, you can't be intentional. You make financial decisions based on the number in your checking account, which is a terrible indicator of what you can actually afford. This is what leads to those end-of-month panic moments. I used to hate the word budget. My first attempt was a disaster, a spreadsheet with 100 categories. I lasted about a week before I gave up, concluding I was just bad at budgeting. The problem wasn't me, it was my approach. The shift happened when I reframed it. A budget isn't a restriction, it's a permission slip. It's a plan that tells you exactly how much you can spend on fun, guilt-free, because you know your important goals are already handled. It gives you freedom, not confinement. The solution is to find a budgeting method that works for you. The 50-30-20 rule is a great starting point. 50% of your after-tax income goes to needs, housing, utilities, groceries. 30% goes to wants, dining out, hobbies, and 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. Of course, if you live in a high-cost area, your needs might take up 60% or more, and that's okay. The point is to have a plan, not to fit into a perfect box. There's also zero-based budgeting, where you give every single dollar a job. This is more hands-on but gives you incredible control. Or you can use a budgeting app that tracks everything automatically. The tool doesn't matter as much as the habit. A budget is the map that gets you from where you are to where you want to go. Without it, you're just guessing. So those are the 7 habits: living paycheck to paycheck, ignoring high interest debt, impulsive spending, neglecting your emergency fund, putting off retirement, letting subscriptions drain your account, and flying blind without a budget. Looking at this list might feel overwhelming. You might see yourself in a few of these, and that's okay. I saw myself in all of them. But please hear this. Your past financial mistakes do not define your future. You are not bad with money. You may have just developed some bad money habits, and habits can be broken. The key is not to fix everything at once. That's a recipe for burnout. Pick one, just one. Which of these habits is causing you the most pain right now? Is it the stress of having no emergency savings? Is it the weight of credit card debt? Pick that one and focus all your energy on it. Start small, build one new positive habit. Once that feels solid, move on to the next. This is a journey of 1,000 small steps, not one giant leap. It's about progress, not perfection. You have the power to change your financial situation, and it starts today with one small decision. I want to know which of these habits you're going to tackle first. Let me know in the comments below. Sharing your goal is a powerful first step. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to check out that Investing for Absolute Beginners video I mentioned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.